Monty once again from DPL Surveillance Equipment. Today it looks like it's going to be a very nice day out here in sunny Southern California, Camarillo, California more specifically. Let me turn my ringer off because I know someone's going to want to interrupt me. Let's see what else is going on. Very nice day today. Really feel good about the idea that we're taking care of all these little things on our to-do list. Zero debt. The cryptocurrency markets aren't really in a bull phase, but they seem to be stabilizing. Volatility is at a 15-month low. Again, volatility in the cryptocurrency space is at a 15-month low. So all those people who've been they're going to be complaining about lack of volatility is probably the next thing they'll be concerned about. But it looks like we're on a nice, even keel as far as growing organically, not worrying too much about hype, not worrying too much about ETFs, excuse the noise, not worrying too much about major headlines and such. Sometimes you just want slow and steady, and you don't want all the hype and you don't want all the drama. You just want slow, steady growth. So that seems like that's what we're getting. In the regular or traditional economy, we're getting major sell-offs in the bond markets. It looks like investors are perceiving the economy as not looking so rosy or bright over the medium to long term. Usually, when you sell out of your bond positions, particularly in U.S. government debt, that usually means that you're not comfortable with the mid to long term, which makes sense considering that interest rates have been kept so low for so long. We had an environment where the artificial suppression of interest rates at those historically, at those particular levels, that was not historical. That was not common. That was very unusual to have rates that low for so long. So when you keep a bubble underwater for so long, at some point, it's just going to be more difficult. It's going to eventually rise to the surface. So I think the United States government is finally realizing, in addition to the markets, that there was so much distortion going on with the artificially low rates, with the quantitative easing, cheap, free money flooding the markets. Now the markets need to reach some state of equilibrium, and the central bankers and the Federal Reserve types are trying to figure out what is that point of equilibrium. Is it going to be 5% interest rates, 10%, 15, 20, who knows? When you have so much manipulation and such intervening in the markets, the free markets, at some point you got to get out of the way and let the markets return to whatever level they should have been at. And I don't know whether that means we should be going into a recession, be in a recession, or whatever. But we need to take the bad medicine and let it run its course and see what happens. So that's what's going on, basically, you guys. We're seeing a situation where we have to figure out where the economy is going to be heading, and is it going to be, again, going into a recession, coming out of, or whatever situation it's going to be. That's what the economy needs to go through. This natural way of achieving equilibrium within itself. What else is going on? Let's see what else. Automobile sales seem to be pretty pathetic. I'm reading more and more about automobile sales, new car sales, new motorcycle sales, new recreational vehicle sales, housing starts and such seem to be pretty disappointing. More people are more comfortable with buying used cars, used motorcycles, renting out homes. um, you name it. People just aren't spending the type of money. Malls closing, a lot of malls closing, shopping malls, that is, commercial, space coming onto the markets in the billions of square feet. I hate to be pessimistic, but I'm just trying to let you guys know what you're up against, so that if you want to take advantage, because for every situation that seems to be negative, there's always situations that are ultimately going to be positive, and opportunities for somebody who has the cash and the financial wherewithal and the foresight to take a look at these as opportunities, as times to take advantage of opportunity, such as in the crypto space. When things are flat and not going very far, as far as the upward trajectory is concerned, then that's when you buy in, right? That's when you buy your houses, buy your cars, buy whatever asset that you want to buy at cheaper prices as compared to paying a premium. So anyway, just keep your eyes and ears open for that, you guys, as well, because people are holding back and cutting back. And let's take a look at the article and see. Oh yeah, by the name, my name is Monty Henry, owner of DPO Surveillance Equipment. I run a full-service surveillance and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all the products. We have 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. We have the largest inventory of items that not only can you buy, but you can rent or lay away as well. We have a tremendous and growing media library that includes demonstration videos, articles, podcasts, blogs, and such. Go there, read about health and fitness, cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. Read about economics and finance, cybersecurity, surveillance and counter-surveillance. All these topics are covered in the media center, if you will. The articles, blogs, podcasts, and all that. All this information is free on those various topics. So go there and take a look at it and see. We're trying to update it, keep it updated on a daily basis, so that there will always be something new to read and share with others as well. In addition to that, we do accept Bitcoin. The shopping cart integration plugin is allowing us to set Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bcash in the shopping cart. So you crypto millionaires, don't hesitate to go there and spend some of the cryptocurrency gains that you've experienced, like we have over the last 4 or 5 years. What else? The shopping cart is newly designed. It's ready for the future, believe it or not. We're prepared for the next 5 years or 10 years, I think. We're always making improvements, but we definitely put a lot of money and time and effort into building it, redesigning it, and getting it ready for mobile usage. That includes smartphones, laptops, iPads, and such. All smart devices should be compatible. Should look very nice. It should be optimized for mobile. As usual, we have to condemn what's going on with the credit card issuers. So that includes the banks, that includes the merchant processors, that includes the intermediaries for the banks. That whole industry, that whole sector is antiquated, outdated, and they're basically extracting a lot of financial resources out of the pockets of people like you and me, business owners, consumers. Everybody's paying a price for what MasterCard and Visa and American Express and Discover and Wells Fargo and Citibank and UBS and HSBC, all of these guys are ripping us off on a daily basis. They're manipulating markets. They're participating in money laundering. They're participating in fixing of gold and silver and commodities. Bribery is rampant. Again, let's just be aware of the fact that all of this is well documented. For instance, even on our website under articles and the videos and such, we talk about the scandals associated with for instance, Danske Bank, Danske Bank in Europe, Eastern Europe, I think, allowing the Russians to send hundreds of billions of dollars of illicit money, a lot of it's money laundering money, through their Estonia bank. We talk about J.P. Morgan Chase Bank participating in money laundering and bribes and settling in record amount $13 billion here and there and everywhere else. And this is all rampant in the finance industry. So just make sure you understand where the problems are versus where they say the problems are. The problems aren't with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency so much as they're with the traditional banking system. In the cryptocurrency space, we're actually trying to address those problems. That's why Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin in 2008 to address those problems. So as we go through our growing pains in the cryptocurrency space, just remember the larger real issues are coming from the traditional banking sector with the financial collapse of 2008 starting it all. So let's take a look at this particular article. This particular article, see, what is it called, by the way? It's called, Wells Fargo and Verizon to lay off 70,000 employees. You heard it right. Wells Fargo and Verizon to lay off 70,000 employees. More than a quarter of carriers' workforce affected in an effort to cut $10 billion in costs. Verizon Communications Incorporated's offer of voluntary severance packages last month was made to roughly 44,000 employees, or more than a quarter of the carrier's workforce. A spokesman for the company confirmed the scope of the offer, which was previously reported by the Wall Street Journal. Verizon's efforts to trim its workforce come as the largest U.S. wireless carrier by subscribers seeks to cut $10 billion in costs and upgrade to a faster 5G network. So again, in this mad push to get to a 5G network, a lot of these companies, including Verizon Wireless, are going to be cutting back on their workforce, are going to be trying to figure out how to save money. So ironically, the introduction of this new technology, this 5G network, which is faster and blah, 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 is not going to be such that a lot of those employees are going to be able to participate and contribute as far as working on the new technology within their own companies. A lot of these guys are unfortunately going to be sitting on the sidelines trying to figure out how to afford these new services, because they used to work for Verizon. They used to work for whatever companies that are rolling out the 5G services, T-Mobile, Sprint, whoever, AT&T. So that's ironic that, when the technology rolls out, that's when you get the pink slip from your company. The severance packages will give Verizon an opportunity to find more efficiencies in the size and scope of our V team, V as in Victor team, and help expedite the building of an innovative operating model for our future, Chief Executive Hans Vestberg wrote in a memo sent to employees last week and reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. Employees eligible for the severance packages were offered 3 weeks' pay for each year of service up to 60 weeks. The same day the offer was announced, Verizon notified many information technology employees that they were being transferred to Indian outsourcing giant Infosys Limited as part of a $700 million outsourcing agreement. So again, ironically, a lot of these people who worked for Verizon for 20, 25, 30 years are going to be laid off or forcibly transferred to an outsourcing India-based firm where you get to more than likely watch your benefits evaporate in front of you. As a condition, you have to sign up with Infosys, more than likely as a temporary employee or whatever the classification they give it. But this is an attempt to save money, at least $700 million. So this is how these corporate types work, you guys. Remember, when you get at or near retirement, that's when they come out with the restructurings, the mergers and the acquisitions and the layoffs, so that they don't have to pay you the amount of money that you were calculating on to get. When you plan your trips and your vacations and what your life is going to look like when you retire, and then someone comes up to you at the last minute or the last hour and says, look, things are changing, we're going to transfer you to another company, and if you want to get this severance package, you have to transfer to another company. That's basically a almost like a temporary agency type of situation, where you're reclassified so they can save money on the amount of money that they were required to give you initially. Moving right along, the pool of employees who either received the severance offer or are affected by the Infosys deal amounts to about 30% of the 100,000 employees that Verizon had globally at the end of June. Strategically, we're going to invest more in transforming the business versus running the business. Materials detailing the outsourcing agreement said, as part of that pact, Verizon is transferring about 2,500 employees in the United States and overseas to Infosys. Those employees aren't eligible for severance payments and won't receive their 2018 bonus if they are offered a job at Infosys and don't accept it, according to materials given to the employees. Again, that's a poke in the eye of the employees, if I ever saw one. If you don't sign up for this other firm that we're transferring you to, whether or not logistically or whatever, you can make the transition. We don't care. We basically are forcing you to go to work for this other company, so we can save some money, and so that someone else can be your employer, whether you like it or not, want it or not, or need it or not. Moving right along, there was a disappointment there among long-serving employees who are being transferred to Infosys rather than being offered severance packages some colleagues are eligible for, said Jerry Rice, who said he has worked at Verizon for more than 38 years and is a senior management in IT. So again, be careful, you guys. Corporate loyalty is a thing of the past. When you have 38 years in a company and they decide at the last minute that we're going to transfer you to another company, and more than likely the whole reason is to save money and to not pay you the lucrative retirement package that you were entitled to. And Jerry Rice is saying this after 38 years. So anyway, moving right along. The next part of this session, Wells Fargo layoffs, company to cut 26,000 jobs. Wells Fargo layoffs, company to cut 26,000 jobs. Wells Fargo announced on Monday that it was rolling out a new round of layoffs that will see at least 26,000 of its worldwide employees losing their jobs over the next 3 years. The move marks a headcount reduction of at least 10% by the banking institution, making a significant decrease in the workforce of the third largest bank in the United States. The announcement was made public this week, but employees found out about it Thursday as Wells Fargo CEO Tim Sloan unveiled in the news. The bank currently has about 265,000 workers in its payroll, and it said that it plans on cutting jobs through both attrition and by laying off workers. It isn't clear exactly where these jobs will be eliminated at Wells Fargo, as well as whether or not those who resign will be getting severance packages. The last few years have been rough for the San Francisco-based bank, as back in 2015, the company admitted that a large group of employees opened millions of fake bank accounts for customers so it could meet the insanely high and unrealistic sales goals issued out by its executives. Wells Fargo has admitted to other improprieties over the last few years, which includes selling auto insurance to borrowers who did not need the insurance. That pretty much concludes that particular podcast, you guys. Just want to illustrate and reiterate that if you're working for someone else, be careful, because things aren't quite what they used to be. Once upon a time, working for Verizon, for instance, or working for AT&T like I was a long time ago, we had the CWA, or Communications Workers of America union, and they protected us. And they made sure that, you weren't taken advantage of, particularly like what's happening now. So things have changed. Try to start your own business. Try to be an entrepreneur. Try to take advantage of this growing industries, or like Bitcoin or the marijuana business. Over the long term, it's going to be a big business. Cryptocurrency is going to be a big business. Cybersecurity should be a big business. AI, cloud computing and such, robotics definitely. Anyway, try to strike out on your own if you can. And remember, 90% of your work, if not higher, is going to be to the benefit of your employer as compared to you. So if you're only reaping 10% of your efforts that you put in corporate America, then you're not really benefiting as much as you could be. You're basically being taken advantage of. So just remember what's more productive. Is it more productive for you or the company as an employee? And what are the trade-offs? As you can read by these articles and podcasts and such. A lot of times you put in a lot of time and effort, and you end up getting the sharp end of the stick right in the eye. Okay, so don't be one of those types who are going to be resentful working for some company 70, 80 years old, 90 years old or something, when everyone around you is 15, 16, 17-year-old and doing very well for themselves. It's just one of those sad situations. I was just reading an article the other day about people in retirement communities. You have a lot of baby boomers who are settling into retirement communities like Oakmont something community retirement village in Northern California, I think. Half the people are doing very well, but the other half is doing very poorly with they're on a fixed income, they're counting coupons and such, and there's a lot of tension going on in Oakmont retirement community, this particular community up there up north. And I'm pretty sure this is reflective of a lot of retirement communities where baby boomers and such are settling in. And again, a lot of people are suffering on one side, and then a lot of people who benefit from working for Google and Facebook and selling their own businesses when they're retired are doing very well, and the tensions are mounting in society. So this is a microcosm of the economy and society overall, where a lot of people are resentful, living on a day-to-day basis, and the other half are doing very well. And you almost feel guilty because you're doing well, and you know that the others aren't. So anyway, keep your eyes and ears open, and we will talk to you later. Bye.